Hey trainers, Alakaham here with some more Pokemon video magic, and I am sick this week, so I've actually been very productive from bed, but I am trying to take some downtime and relaxation time, and part of that is going to be playing Pokemon Go, and I figured if I'm doing a lot of Pokemon anyway, I may as well try and record some of my Go Battle League play and make uploads, as I've been a little bit slower about that the past year or so. But I'm still trying to maintain uploads, and there's going to be something a little bit different about this recording because I am recording myself live instead of going back and kind of speeding things up and then doing reflective commentary. So you're just getting my live reaction to things. And I don't know exactly how this is going to go, and I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I'm going to show you this team with Shadow Malamar because I built a Shadow Malamar several months ago, but it didn't have all of the right moves because I hadn't been able to remove frustration. Oh, seems like we're running into some problems here. And I'm basically using Malamar to offset anything that would be threatening to my backline, but also I have a fire type and a poison type to deal with fairies, which are the main threat to Malamar. So let's go ahead and jump in. If the game will let me here, we'll see. Looks like we did find an opponent. There we go. Icentra. Look at this really cool Pokemon World Championships background here. I think this is amazing. I love playing in this stadium-style arena here. Okay, so this is exactly where we want to see the Clodsire, or the Quagsire, rather, because both of my Pokemon in the back are weak to ground. So I overfarmed just a little to make sure they were going to stay in, and then I went ahead and threw the move. I really don't want to get hit by a Stone Edge here, so I'm going to go ahead and shield because, again, neither of my Pokemon in the back really want anything to do with this Quagsire. And if they hit me with another Aqua Tail, that's okay. I can farm them enough at this point. Yeah, they went for the Aqua Tail, and they're not going to wait for me to farm down. So they came in with a Drapion. I can do neutral with this superpower, and they shielded, so I'm going to come in with the Clodsire. Woo! Getting my Quags and my Clods mixed up. You can tell I'm having a little bit of connection trouble here on the left-hand side with the spinning Pokeball of Death there. This has been a problem all season for me. And unfortunately, they've got multiple Pokemon with Water-type moves that kind of counter my backline as well. So this is going to be a big problem, given that I'm down a shield. Or are we even shields now? Okay, they let the move go through. We are even shields now. And they're going to come in with their Quagsire. Fine by me. Looks like they don't quite get to their move, so that's great for me. And I'm going to go ahead and go for this Earthquake. Scissor is exactly what I want to see in the back because we have been saving a Typhlosion, so one Incinerate ought to do it. And this is a Shadow Typhlosion. It's a Pokemon that's also a relatively new build for me, but when I tell y'all that this Pokemon is completely broken, oh my. Shadow Typhlosion hits so hard, and including against water types. I've won games that I never imagined that I would win using Shadow Typhlosion up some shields and Thunder Punch, right? It is totally bananas. Okay, neither of my back Pokemon want to deal with ground types, and actually Gligar is sort of a core breaker for us, which is like sort of silly on my part because Gligar is pretty common, and so, I don't know why I didn't prepare for a Gligar, but here we are. We're just going to have to do our best. I'm going to let this move through because I want shields up for the Typhlosion, which is what I'm going to have to use to finish off this Gligar. and we're just going to try and chunk as much neutral damage as we can. I was hoping we would sneak through one more Incinerate, but unfortunately we don't, so I'm just going to have to put up the shield. Yeah, it was a dig, and then we're down a shield, but we do have lots of energy, so let's see if they bring in a water type. They do. It's a Blastoise. I'm going to try really hard to get shields here. I think there's still one away from a Hydro Cannon. We'll see here. That should be the Hydro, and now they are going again, farming up as much as they can. They might have two. I'm going to shield to force the double throw if they are going to double throw. They did sneak through a move there. Hopefully they shield this. That's best case scenario, but they do not, and they have a Greninja in the back, so that is going to be game over. We can't really handle double water on this team, especially with a shield up. So my entire team was basically core broken here, and there's not much that could really be done about it. So anyway, sometimes it happens. Good game to my opponent. It's a really cool strategy. Besides the Malamar, this is sort of a meta team, and so that's to be expected that people are going to be prepped for Pokemon like Clodsire or Typhlosion. We'll just do our best and try again on the next one. I also rarely double up on Shadow Pokemon, and so this was kind of fun to think of a double Shadow team. Again, Shadow Malamar is very new for me, and I just got rid of Frustration for it this weekend. So if you haven't taken advantage of Go Battle Weekend and the Rocket Takeover, it's a really good time to be doing that. Okay, unfortunately, we don't quite get to foul play in time. This is a CMP tie, and Hydro Cannon is going to absolutely wreck all three of my Pokemon here. So basically, I'm going to keep shielding, and I'm just going to overfarm as much as I can so that if they try and swap, I'm not going to just blind throw my foul play. Okay, so they hydroed. In this case, I might blind throw because I think I might, because I held my ground and overfarmed, I had a little more energy. All right, that's fine. They've got their own Shadow Typhlosion. We are going to try and get that last shield with foul play. We do get the shield, but they're going to totally farm down, which is not great. That means they have a Blast Burn ready, so we're going to come in with Clodsire, who is pretty bulky. I don't know if he survives a Shadow Blast Burn, but I imagine that he at least barely survives one of about anything. And we do get to that Sludge Bomb before my opponent gets to their next Blast Burn. Thunder Punch would not be doing very much damage here, so they needed to go for the Blast Burn. And they have a Ferrothorn in the back, which is perfect because, of course, we have our Typhlosion. And I don't think Ferrothorn has any move that's going to one-shot our Typhlosion here. Thunder might come close. Close, but no cigar. So we are able to close that game. So this is a bit more how I imagine the team kind of operating, that we deal with things that might be threats to the back line up front. And if we're not seeing a water type or a ground type up front, then swapping out of Malamar and trying to draw out my opponent's best counter is essentially the strategy here. So again, we have a Quagsire up front, and I'm going to stay in because neither of my back Pokemon want to deal with Aquatail. So I'm going to throw Foul Play. They tank the damage. And we're going to play it just like last time, except for they're not throwing a move, so that's fine by me. We're going to go ahead and do another Foul Play. They do shield, makes sense. They've got a lot of energy, but for whatever reason, they must have a delay or something, because I think they're trying to maybe activate a charge move that isn't activating for them, and we are able to farm down. They probably could have got to 2 Aquatails there, as we saw in one of the previous games. But this worked out better for me because I preserve a lot more health here. So, okay, and then they've got a Dugong, and looks like maybe they're not attacking. Just pausing here. Doing a tap here and there. Yeah, looks like maybe this player's game is not responding very well, so the only thing we can really do now is just kind of finish it out. That is unfortunate, though. In general, the way I would play this is try to, of course, win up front with the Malamar, and then do as much damage as we can using superpowers on the Dugong, but Typhlosion is more than capable of dealing with the Dugong as well. So if we lost the Malamar, that's fine. I wouldn't use a shield on Malamar. And then in the back, they have Toxapex. So Toxapex is very bulky, and it could do some super effective damage to our Clodsire, but in this case, the Clodsire is much more threatening because we can hit with Earthquake. It's a lot harder hitting move. So even though I believe Toxapex has a little more bulk, Brine, the water-type move that would do super effective damage against the Clodsire, doesn't actually hit very hard, and we could survive a lot of those. Meanwhile, we're going to be cranking out these Earthquakes pretty fast, and Earthquake, as you saw, is very threatening to the Toxapex. So, unfortunately, my opponent was having difficulty with this game, but hopefully you can see how I would have played the game, and I think we would have probably been able to pull this one out because we had a really good situation after winning the lead, coming in on that Dugong, and that telling us kind of what we need to do for dealing with their backline. Okay, we're going to jump into the next game. Same team here. All right, this time we've got Malamar into Azumarill. Azumarill is another core breaker. I'm actually going to swap into Clodsire because both of my back Pokemon do way more damage against Azu, even though they are both weak to Azu as well. The advantage for Clodsire is that it's very bulky and it cranks out its moves pretty quickly. We can survive an Ice Beam. I guess there's a chance this is Hydro. Okay, yeah, Hydro Pump, not great for us. And we do reach that next Sludge Bomb, so we'll see if they give us the shield. They do give the shield, and they've used up a lot of energy there. I don't see people running Hydro Pump very often, but we're going to go ahead and come in with the Typhlosion because we are going to be chunking damage right alongside them, and I'll go ahead and use this shield. I haven't been counting as well as I should have, but I'm guessing that puts them at 0 energy. So I'm going to go ahead and build up to a couple of Thunder Punches. We'll go ahead and throw one to prevent them from getting to another Ice Beam. And we have a decent amount of energy left over, so they're going to come in with... Boy, my team is having problems here. Lots of counters. I'm going to go ahead and jump in with the Malamar. And let's see, they've got Vigoroth in the back. Ideally, we can sneak through a couple of superpowers before they throw a move. Okay, which we can, which means that we have a shield left to protect us from the clay doll. Oh, except that doesn't KO. Oh, boy. Okay, well, we're going to shield because now our defense is very, very low. They went for Brick Break, which is a little more costly than, say, Body Slam. And can we get to... We do have a foul play loaded, so it's so close. I think one Mud Slap from their clay doll probably would have KO'd, but we were able to build up just enough energy there. Oh, man. I was really nervous that one was going to be an L. But like I said, this team is able to pull out some really unique wins that I would not have guessed that it would be successful at. So there's a lot of flexibility to Clodsire and to Shadow Typhlosion. And then I am really enjoying the Shadow Malamar. It seemed like Malamar was not going to be quite as meta-relevant for a little bit, but it's got its uses for sure. It's a really good sort of all-around everyman kind of player that handles a lot of threats that would be challenging for the backline that I'd chosen there. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please let me know. Give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. Let me know what you think in the comments. In any case, I'm really happy to be a part of the Pokemon Go community, to be able to talk with y'all about Pokemon Go and Go Battle League. It's a lot of fun. I appreciate you being here, and I'll have more video content ready for you soon. Until next time, trainers.